Back in 2007, we had a knock on the door from McDonald's. The reason McDonald's approached us is because that the kids who were applying for jobs for them when they were hiring, they would do a basic literacy and numeracy test. And the McDonald's vice president, Frank McManus, came and said, now Pat, the very basic tests these kids are doing, but 50% of them are failing. And then that 50%, that shocked me, that's a big number. They thought as a benefit for their crew, they would offer Maths Online to help them with their math studies at home. So we did that was 2007. Now 6 months later, we got a call from Frank and said, Pat, this is absolutely going fantastic. The kids love it. The parents are ringing us up to thank us for offering Maths Online to their kids. Is there a way we can actually do this on an Australia-wide basis? We ended a 3-year partnership with McDonald's for 2009 and 2010, 2011, where McDonald's funded us to make Maths Online free for every Australian high school student and teacher. It was a great thing that McDonald's did as a corporate citizen because it's the first of its type in the world that they actually were able to do something like that and set up an educational program and make it available free of charge. When that concluded, I think we reverted back to our subscription-based model. But there were so many schools who were so enthusiastic about the program, they were happy to pay. And a lot of those schools, we've had them on board for 10 years plus. After we finished our McDonald's deal, we were then fairly well established in the Australian market. We saw an opportunity in the US. They have a particularly large homeschooling contingent. We concentrated our efforts on that, and that has been outstanding. We've got a presence in New Zealand as well. We created a program and adapted our program for New Zealand, so we're in a lot of schools and families use it over in New Zealand and other parts of the world. In terms of the future, one of our most exciting projects is we are going to be launching our Maths Online in India. The ambassador we have for the Indian project is Pat Cummins, who is the Australian cricket captain and also happens to be my nephew.
I think the reason that I most enjoyed working with Maths Online and sharing it with my students, it's a very visually simple with expert instruction, because Pat Murray, who is the CEO of Maths Online, does the voiceovers for each of the maths instruction lessons, knows exactly what he's talking about.
The Maths Online point of difference really is down to our videos. If I compare it to other videos or other programs where they might speak for about 15 minutes, firstly, there's only a certain amount of attention span that a kid has. We'd rather use that 15-minute period. Let's teach the kids in 4 or 5 minutes and get them to practice for 10 minutes. Same 15-minute period, but way more effective. Another point of difference is that the founders are maths teachers. We've always, as a company, self-funded the company. It's always been our money on the line. So we have to make it work. A lot of other companies, they have got a lot of money from venture capitalists. I think the job for them is actually, we've got to just create a money-making machine.
We find Maths Online a really important tool to assist our teaching of maths. It is a great way to keep up-to-date data on children, that we can, at the end of a session, see how a children is tracking, and that we can really hone in on misconceptions that are arising at any one time.
My son, you know, he struggled in some areas and he was an ace in other areas. And I think the one thing that kept him going was the feedback that comes through the system. He was delighted to get, you know, a silver level or a gold level. He was just absolutely very, very proud of himself. He'll call me into his bedroom and he's just finished a level and he says, "Look at this, Dad," and he'll push the button and he gets 100% and there's high fives. And you know, he really wants to do the next one because he feels very proud of himself. And that's really, it's a joy to be a part of.
Another really great way that we use Maths Online are the video tutorials as well. We find that they are really beneficial. Sometimes a teacher will be off working with a small group of children. The other children working independently can go along at their own pace, and they're also able to work at their own level.
They say that within any primary classroom there's probably a 3-year gap between the lowest performing and the highest performing kids. The idea that a classroom teacher can set, say for example, a Year 4 class, some of those students can be doing maths at a Year 2 level without any of the negative stigma attached to other people realising that.
To become a leader you've really got to have a great passion. And I do have a great passion to help the kids, their parents and teachers. To become a leader, firstly, you've got to be really good at what you do. I'm also a lifelong learner. If you reach any sort of level and think you are at the top of that level, well, I think you're mistaken. Okay, there's always ways that you can improve. And I think if you're open to being coached, if you're open to learning from people who have done things before you, and that's a key to be able to not only become a leader, but to actually stay on top, stay in a position where you can keep on influencing people, hopefully for very good. I mean, that's the whole idea.